Can you drive with a bad alternator? How long before it leaves you stranded? Sometimes you can, but usually not for very long, because once the alternator stops charging, the battery becomes your backup, not your solution. And that means the car may still run for a while, but the battery is now acting like a countdown timer. In this video, I will show you what you should know first if you are thinking about driving with a bad alternator, and more importantly, how to tell when you may still have a little time, and when the car could shut off much sooner than you expect. So before you keep going and hope the car makes it, let's go step by step. First thing you should know, a bad alternator does not always stop the car immediately. This is why so many drivers keep driving. The battery light comes on, the headlights dim a little, the blower gets weaker, the car still starts, so the problem gets pushed aside. But that is how alternator failure catches people, because the alternator may already be weak, and the battery may already be carrying more of the load than it should. Second thing you should know, how long the car lasts depends mostly on battery charge and electrical load. There is no exact distance that fits every situation. Some cars may keep going for a little while. Others may shut down much sooner. Why? Because once the alternator stops charging properly, everything electrical starts pulling power from the battery. That includes the ignition system, fuel system, lights, blower motor, wipers, dashboard electronics, and on some vehicles, even electric steering assist. So if the battery was already weak, you may not have much time. And if the car is using a lot of electrical power, that time gets shorter. Third thing you should know, the battery light usually means the clock has started. A lot of drivers see the battery light and think only about the battery. But that light often points to the charging system, and that includes the alternator. If the light comes on while driving, especially with dim lights or weak accessories, you should assume the charging system may already be falling behind. That does not always mean the car will shut off immediately, but it does mean you should stop treating the car like everything is normal. Fourth thing you should know, night driving, rain, and heavy electrical load make the risk worse. This is where a bad alternator can become much more serious. If the headlights are on, the blower is running, the rear defroster is on, the wipers are working, or other accessories are active, the battery drains faster. That means a car that might have gone farther in daylight may not last nearly as long at night or in bad weather. So if the alternator is failing, every extra electrical load works against you. Fifth thing you should know, once the car starts acting weak, the risk goes up fast. At first, the signs may seem small. Dim lights, weak power windows, a battery light, a radio that cuts out. But once the dashboard flickers, multiple warning lights appear, or the engine starts running rough, the situation is changing. Because now, battery voltage may already be dropping to the point where the car cannot support itself properly. And once voltage drops too low, the engine may stall, the electronics may shut down, and the car may not restart. That is usually the point where drivers finally get stranded. Sixth thing you should know, a short drive may be possible. A long one is a gamble. This is the answer most people really want. Can you still drive it? Sometimes for a short distance, yes. To get off the road safely, to get home if you are very close, or to reach a nearby repair shop. But a longer drive is a gamble because you do not know exactly how much battery charge is left, how fast voltage is dropping, or whether the alternator is getting worse while you keep driving. That uncertainty is what makes this risky. The car may feel okay for a little while, then suddenly it may not. Seventh thing you should know, some warning signs mean you should stop as soon as safely possible. If you notice a burning smell, a whining or growling noise, severe dimming, multiple warning lights, rough running, stalling, or signs that the serpentine belt may be slipping, the situation becomes much more serious, because now you may be dealing with more than just weak charging. You may be dealing with belt problems, overheating components, or a charging system that is very close to complete failure. And once you reach that stage, you may not get much more warning. The car may simply stop running. Eighth thing you should know, what you should do first. Do not guess blindly. Start with the pattern. Is the battery light on? Are the lights dimming? Are accessories getting weak? Does the car get worse while the engine is still running? Does the battery keep dying even after being charged? Those clues matter. And if possible, check charging voltage instead of guessing, because that will tell you much faster whether the alternator is keeping up or falling behind. Now here is the big takeaway. Can you drive with a bad alternator? Sometimes yes, but usually not for very long, because once the alternator stops charging, the battery becomes your countdown timer. And how long that timer lasts depends on battery condition, electrical load, and how badly the charging system is failing. So if the battery light is on and the car starts showing dim lights, weak accessories, warning lights, rough running, or stalling, do not treat it like a problem that can wait for later, because alternator failure is one of those issues that can leave you stranded without much warning once the battery charge is gone. So let's quickly recap. A bad alternator may still let the car drive for a short time, but how long that lasts depends on battery charge, electrical load, how badly the alternator has failed, and whether the car is already showing signs that voltage is dropping fast. And once the engine starts losing electrical support, the car can shut down very quickly. And now I want to hear from you. Did your car still run for a while with a bad alternator? If so, what got worse first? Dim lights, battery warning light, weak accessories, or did the car suddenly stall and leave you stranded? Comment below with what happened on your car, and if enough people mention the same issue, I will make the next video on how to tell whether it is really the alternator, the battery, or a charging system problem that only looks like alternator failure.